Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're going on a magical adventure with our good friend, Barnaby Bear. But this isn't just any adventure, it's a science adventure. We're going to uncover the secrets behind a mysterious force that can make your hair stand on end and even make balloons stick to walls. All by themselves. Are you ready to become a science magician, just like Barnaby? Let's get started. One sunny morning, Barnaby Bear found a big, bright, colorful balloon. He was so excited. He tossed it in the air, bounced it on his nose, and had a grand old time. He also had his favorite silk scarf with him, a very soft and shiny scarf his grandma had knitted. As he was playing, he started rubbing the balloon with his silk scarf, just for fun, to make it extra shiny. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh went the scarf against the balloon. But then, something peculiar happened. Barnaby looked in the mirror and gasped. His fur wasn't smooth and cuddly like usual. It was standing straight up, pointing in every direction, like he'd just seen a ghost. He touched his fur, and it felt all tingly and strange. What in the world is happening to me? He wondered. He looked at the balloon, then at his scarf, and then back at his spiky fur. He hadn't used any hair gel, and the wind wasn't blowing inside his house. It was a complete mystery. So, Barnaby, being a very curious bear, decided to investigate. He thought, maybe it was the rubbing motion. He picked up the balloon and his silk scarf again. He rubbed them together. Fast, this time. Vroom, vroom, vroom. He held the balloon near his arm, and poof! The fur on his arm stood right up to meet the balloon, even without touching it. It was like the balloon had a secret, invisible power, Barnaby giggled. He wasn't scared anymore. He was intrigued. He felt like a superhero discovering a new superpower. Now, you might be thinking, this is magic, and in a way, it feels like it. But it's actually something even cooler. It's science. It's called static electricity. That's a big phrase. So let's break it down just like Barnaby did. Everything around us, from the fur on a bear to a bouncy balloon, is made of tiny little things called atoms. These atoms are so small you can't even see them with a microscope. And inside these atoms are even tinier particles. Some of these particles are called electrons, and they have something called a negative charge. Think of them as little bundles of negative energy. Other particles, called protons, have a positive charged little bundles of positive energy. Usually, an object has the same number of electrons and protons. So they are balanced, or what scientists call neutral. They're perfectly happy just the way they are. But when Barnaby rubbed his silk scarf on the balloon, something amazing happened. The rubbing action was strong enough to pull some of those tiny electrons from his scarf and transfer them onto the surface of the balloon. Imagine the electrons as tiny passengers jumping from one ship, the scarf, to another, the balloon. Now, the balloon had extra electrons, which means it had more negative charges than positive ones. It became negatively charged. And what about the scarf? Well, since it lost some of its electrons, it now had more positive charges than negative ones. So, the scarf became positively charged. This is the secret behind static electricity. It is an imbalance of charges on the surface of an object. The word static just means it is not moving or flowing like the electricity in our walls. It's just sitting there, building up on the surface. So, why did Barnabas' fur stand up? Well, objects with opposite charges attract each other. It's like they want to get together. The negatively charged balloon was brought close to Barnabas' fur. His fur was neutral, but the strong negative charge on the balloon pulled on the positive charges in his fur. This pull was so strong that it literally lifted his light little hairs towards the balloon. It's the law of attraction, science style. Positives and negatives just can't resist each other. Barnaby was having a blast with his newfound knowledge. He thought, if this static electricity can lift my fur, what else can it do? He had an idea. He rubbed the balloon against his fuzzy head this time, making sure to build up a really good charge. His fur stood up even taller than before. He looked like a little punk rock bear. Then, he walked over to the wall and gently placed the balloon against it. He let go, and it stuck. The balloon was just hanging there on the wall, as if held by invisible glue. Barnaby jumped up and down with delight. "I'm a magician," he shouted. He didn't need any tape or any string. He was using the power of static electricity. The negatively charged balloon was attracting the positive charges in the neutral wall, creating a force strong enough to hold the light balloon in place against gravity. He spent the rest of the afternoon experimenting. He rubbed the balloon on a woolly blanket. Did it stick to the wall? Yes! He tried rubbing it on a plastic toy. Did that work? Not as well. He discovered that different materials are better at giving or taking electrons. This is called the triboelectric series, which is just a fancy list that tells scientists which materials are likely to become positive and which are likely to become negative when rubbed together. Materials like rubber, plastic, and silk are great at grabbing electrons, while things like glass and our own hair are more likely to give them away. Barnaby also noticed something else. After a while, the balloons would slowly fall off the wall. The static charge wasn't permanent. The extra electrons on the balloon would slowly leak away into the air or into the wall until the balloon became neutral again. Once it was neutral, the attraction was gone and gravity would win, pulling the balloon back down to the floor. This whole experience taught Barnaby an important lesson. What seemed like magic was actually a fascinating scientific principle that he could see and test for himself. Static electricity is everywhere. Have you ever taken off a sweater in a dark room and seen little sparks? That's static electricity! Or have you ever shuffled your feet on a carpet and then gotten a tiny zap when you touched a doorknob? That's also static electricity. That little spark is the built-up charge jumping from you to the metal doorknob. Barnaby learned that science isn't just something in books. It's a part of our everyday lives, full of surprises and fun experiments. By simply rubbing a balloon with his scarf, he had unlocked a secret of the universe. He felt powerful, not because he was a magician, but because he was a scientist. He understood the why behind the wow. So, next time you have a balloon, why not try Barnabas' experiment? You can become a science magician too. All you need is a balloon and something to rub it with, like your hair, a wool sweater, or a silk scarf. See if you can make your hair stand up. See if you can stick the balloon to a wall or a ceiling. You can even try picking up tiny pieces of paper with your charged balloon. It's a simple, safe, and super fun way to experience the power of static electricity right in your own home. And just think, this same principle is used in all sorts of important technologies, like in photocopiers and printers that use static charges to attract toner powder to the paper, or in air filters that use static to pull dust and pollen out of the air we breathe. It all starts with the simple act of rubbing two things together and moving those tiny, invisible electrons. Science is truly amazing, isn't it? Barnaby Bear certainly thinks so. And now, he can't wait for his next big science adventure. What do you think he'll discover next? Thanks so much for joining Barnaby on his balloon adventure today. I hope you had as much fun as we did and learned a little something new about the invisible forces all around us. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more fun science stories and experiments. Let us know in the comments if you tried the balloon experiment. We'd love to hear about it. Until next time, stay curious.